Picture a spacecraft ready to leave Earth for Mars. But mission control says no. The sky is full of bullets. Millions of invisible fragments are circling our planet at 17,000 miles per hour. Right now, a silent disaster is unfolding above your head. We aren't just polluting space. We are accidentally building a global cage. Have you ever wondered why we haven't seen any aliens yet? Maybe they didn't go extinct. Maybe they just got trapped by their own trash. In this video, we'll explore how thousands of satellites created a lethal minefield. We'll look at the terrifying Kessler syndrome, a chain reaction that could reset us. October 4th, 1957. Sputnik 1 beeped from orbit. It was the dawn of a new era. We were explorers, pioneers, and dreamers. But we were also messy. Since that day, humans have launched more than 8,000 satellites into the void. We treated orbit like an ocean. If a satellite died, we just left it there. It's like driving a car until it runs out of gas and leaving it on a highway. But wait, the real danger isn't just the objects we can see, it's the invisible debris moving 10 times faster than a sniper's bullet. To understand this, remember three numbers: 36,000, 1 million, and 130 million. These are the invisible mines in our sky. Why? Because at orbital speeds, a tiny paint chip hits with the force of a bowling ball dropped from a massive skyscraper. In 1978, Donald Kessler had a terrifying realization. He didn't worry about the trash we launch. He worried about the trash hitting trash. Think of it like a crack on your car's windshield. If you hit a bump, that crack splits into 2, then 4, then 10. It's a self-sustaining chain reaction. One collision creates a cloud of shrapnel. That shrapnel hits another satellite, creating more clouds. The monster feeds itself. It's a slow-motion explosion that could last for centuries. If the sky fills with debris, how will we ever reach the moon? Let's look at a real-life horror story from February 2009. Two satellites were screaming through the darkness over Siberia. They collided at 11 kilometers per second. In an instant, two functional machines became 2,000 massive chunks of debris. Those fragments are still up there today, crossing the paths of every other satellite. This wasn't a movie. This was a warning. And here's the surprising part. We still depend on orbit more than ever. If the cascade starts, your phone becomes a useless piece of glass. You might think, I'm on Earth. Why does space junk matter to me? Your modern life is hanging by a very thin orbital thread. Our civilization relies on satellites for three main things: navigation, timing, and communication. It's like an invisible power grid in the sky. Without GPS, your maps stop working, but so does the global banking system. Did you know banks use satellite timestamps to verify every transaction? No weather satellites means we won't see hurricanes coming until they hit the coast. We are returning to the 1950s in a single afternoon. Are we ready to go back to paper maps and telegrams? Every time we see a shooting star, we have to ask, was that a meteor? Or was that a piece of $1 billion GPS satellite burning up? The ironies of progress are becoming more dangerous every single day. We always imagine space as the ultimate frontier, but the real barrier might be much simpler. It might be a gray shell of our own garbage. Imagine humanity as a bird trying to hatch. Usually the shell protects the bird, but we are making the shell too thick to survive. Maybe every intelligent race reaches this point. They clutter their orbit and trap themselves forever. It's a sobering thought. Are we the first? And here's where it gets really weird. Even if we stop launching rockets today, the debris will keep multiplying on its own. So can we fix it? Scientists are proposing giant space harpoons, massive nets, and even powerful lasers to push debris down. It sounds like science fiction, but it's our only hope. The problem is the cost. Who pays to pick up a dead satellite? Space has no janitors because space has no government. It's a tragedy of the commons. Everyone benefits, but nobody wants to pay. But we have to try. If we don't start cleaning now, the door might lock shut within our very own lifetime. We need to decide if we want to be the explorers of the galaxy or the generation that turned the sky into a graveyard. Remember that spacecraft from the beginning? The one that couldn't launch? That scenario is becoming more real with every single passing day. Space is vast, but the usable lanes are limited. We are running out of parking spots in the sky, and it's getting dangerous. The next time you look up at a clear night sky, remember that it isn't as empty as it looks. Behind the stars is history. A swirling cloud of our own progress is moving fast enough to end our future. We didn't build a prison, we just forgot to clean. But here's the surprising part. If we don't act now, we might be the last generation to ever see a rocket launch. The question isn't whether we can go to the stars. It's whether we can keep the path open long enough to try. Exploration always leaves a trace, but we must ensure those traces don't become our permanent shackles. What do you think? Are we smart enough to clean our room, or are we destined to stay grounded forever? The clock is ticking above us. Imagine a world where the internet just stops. Not because of a hack, but because a bolt hit a server in the sky. Donald Kessler warned us 40 years ago. We listened, but we didn't act. Now the math is starting to catch up with us. Every great voyage in history had its dangers, but this time, the danger isn't the distance. It is the waste we left behind. Look at the International Space Station. It has thousands of tiny craters. It's a miracle we haven't lost it yet. Could space recycling be the biggest industry of the 21st century? Or is it already too late to turn back? We are the first generation to see the stars clearly, and potentially the last to be able to reach them easily. And here's the most sobering thought. If we lock ourselves in, we won't just lose the stars. We will lose our sense of wonder. Space is vast, but the gateway is narrow. We are currently clogging that gate with the ghosts of our past missions. Imagine a collision between a satellite from the Cold War and a modern internet provider. The history of technology is literally killing the future. We treat orbit like a landfill, but there is no wind to blow the trash away. It just stays there, circling forever. Are we listening to the warnings now, or will we only care when the first global internet blackout hits our screens? We need a global janitor service for the stars. But who will lead the way? Who will take the first step to clean? This isn't a problem for one nation. It's a challenge for our entire species. Space is the only home we share with everyone. If we fail, our descendants will look up and see a graveyard. If we succeed, they will see an open door. We are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the stars, the other leads to a permanent orbital prison. Choose wisely, because sometimes the most important frontier isn't the one we reach, but the one we manage to keep open for others. Orbit is not an infinite ocean. It is a fragile room we all share. We have to treat it with respect. The next launch could be the last. Not because we give up, but because the sky tells us we've had enough. Time is running out for the clear sky. Every collision today makes the tomorrow of our children much more difficult and dark. We have one chance to fix the orbital prison before the locks click for the very last time. What will we choose? Hope is a clean orbit, a place where we can still dream of other worlds without hitting a wall of our own trash. We are explorers by nature. Let's not let a few thousand tons of metal stop our journey to the great unknown. Stay curious. The door is still open. For now. Let's make sure it stays that way for the next 100 generations to come. Subscribe to Beyond Explained. Click the like button to support our journey into the deep unknown.